They call it Stormy Monday, but Tuesday's just bad. They call it Stormy Monday, but Tuesday's is bad. Wednesday's worse, Thursday's also sad. Hey guys, I'm so glad you joined me today for 10 Talks. Man, one of the things, if you know me at all, you know that I love blues music. I love blues guitar. I enjoy playing it. I enjoy listening to it. But the thing about the blues is that it's called the blues. Why? Because it's all about hardships, tough times, people leaving people, people hurting, people, working too hard and all sorts of things. And so it's a lot of things that they call the blues. Well, we're talking about depression this week. I hope you've enjoyed so far all of our talks on Mind Matters. We've just kind of opened up the issues, talked about it, talked about anxiety, and today we're going to talk a little more focused on depression. And when I think of depression, I think of the term people say, I got the blues. And that's what we're talking about today. But we're going to start with something special. A science experiment.
I love science.
Hello, I am Professor Brainiac, and welcome to our science experiment. I was going to use real brains for this. I bought a few on Amazon, very miniature ones. But I realized something. Brains don't bounce. So instead, I've got a basketball. I'm not going to talk during this experiment, but I want you to observe what happens, okay? Are you ready? Pretty hard to play basketball when it's flat.
I love science.
Well, I hope you liked that experiment. It was fun. But when I was dealing with depression myself, honestly, I really felt like that basketball. Not just because, I'm a little round, but because I felt flat. I knew that I was not living the way that God had created me, but I had no energy. I lost a lot of passion for the things that I love to do. I slept a lot. I pulled back from people and from family and friends. I just withdrew. I was just flat. Depression's something that many people are going to face, especially many teenagers. Statistics tell us that 20% of all teenagers struggle with depression. So if there's a group of us on a Sunday morning or youth group or at school, there's a bunch of people around that are actually struggling with depression. And out of those people, 10 to 15% are struggling with depression at any one time. So people aren't alone when they're struggling with depression. There are others who are struggling or have struggled with it as well. You see, it can be difficult to tell the difference between just regular ups and downs or the blues that we were talking about before. Because that can be just part of being a teenager. Your moods and emotions are going a little up and down because your brain is still developing and you're actually able now to experience feelings at much deeper emotions than you used to before. But how do we know, and when does it go too far? Well, in previous 10 Talks, I stated that mental health affects our ability to make good decisions, and depression, it becomes a problem when can't think straight and we start altering our decision making. And it affects our relationships, and it affects the way that we live our life. When I was struggling with depression, I had negative thoughts that would get in my mind and just keep going. It was like I had an iPod or on my phone, it was playing a song over and over again on repeat, but there were negative thoughts. These MP3s, I call them, would just play in my head. And you know what? Because I wasn't thinking straight and I was flat, I believed them. It was hard for me to discern between what was true, what wasn't true, all these negative thoughts and feelings that I had about myself. And I struggled, and it was hard even to get out of bed every morning. It was a struggle, and it was hard. You see, this basketball that we deflated, well, it can't inflate itself. What helped me most when I was depressed was faith, friends, and physicians. You see, I never doubted God, that He was there and that He was with me. Even though I felt alone, I still prayed, I still pleaded with God, and He would often show up in just a verse or a phrase or just in a moment to remind me of His love and presence. And there's two verses that became really special to me, and these are them. It is Psalm 34, verse 18. It says, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit." And I was brokenhearted when I was depressed, and I was crushed in spirit. But He was there, and He was there to save me, and He was with me. And the second one is Joshua 1:9. And it says, "Have I not commanded you, be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid, do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." And again, that one gave me courage and strength to get up out of bed every morning, to face the day and to face getting better and to get help. It gave me courage to go and not fear because God was with me through it. And He's with you as well. Even when I felt like not going out at all, I was withdrawing, I had friends who would come and pursue me, would come and force me to go out with them. And you know what? Even though I didn't want to, every time I went out with them, it felt better. They actively called or texted or connected with me, even though I was trying to withdraw, because I had shared with them what I was going through and they cared for me. So my faith was important, my friends were important, and the last one, physicians and help. That's a therapist, counselor, doctor, whatever. It was huge. And I went and I found help, and it really, really helped me. And I shared before that I'd gone through this a few times, and if I could change anything, I would have sought professional help a lot earlier. I wouldn't have waited to the third time I went through it. I would have done it the first time. And that's why we're talking about it. I didn't want to talk about this part of my life and put it up on YouTube and on our website. I didn't want to. I don't like talking about it. I don't want people necessarily to know all this stuff about me. But the reality is, I think I have to. Why? Because I realize that people need help. I found help. And I want to help you if you begin to feel this way. I want you to know that God is with you, that you have friends around you to help you, and that there are professionals and physicians and therapists and counselors who can walk into your life and help you out of your depression so you're not feeling flat and that you could be inflated again. As we talk in our small groups, I want to encourage you to share your story. Maybe you've struggled or are struggling with mental health issues. Maybe you have questions you want to ask. Well, that's the place to do it. Ask them. Share your story. That's why I wanted to open up these conversations in the first place. Remember that you are not alone in depression. And when you're flat, God is with you. You have friends, and there is help. So thanks for coming on the journey with us as we talk about mental health, because your mind matters.